Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, inshallah, we are going to start in chapter 6, which is the analysis of cost. Analysis of cost. In this chapter, we will study the different types of cost and the relationship between the different types of cost. To understand the idea of the cost, let's have the following example. Assume or suppose that someone has a blocks manufacturing unit, blocks manufacturing unit to produce blocks. To produce blocks. To produce blocks, we need the following inputs. We need cement, sand, water, gravels. What else? No, it's a new chapter. Yes. To produce blocks, we need the following raw material: cement, water, sand, gravels, human resources, workers, labor, machines. We have also to pay for maybe rent, land rent. We have to pay insurance, registration, electricity, right? So we have to pay also for insurance, registration. Yes, taxes. We need also to pay taxes. Gravels, hasma. We need also to pay for, keep silent please. We need also to pay for other types of cost, like sometimes we may rent the land, so we have to pay for rent. Electricity. Yeah. Transportation. All these types are classified as or called inputs or cost. In economics, we classify the cost here into different types: variable cost and fixed cost. The variable cost, let us ask here about cement. Cement is an input to produce blocks, right? To produce 200, let us assume to produce 200 blocks or units of blocks, we need 20 sacks of cement, sand, water, gravels, and 2 workers. Are these here, cement, water, sand, gravels, and the human resources here, are these costs variable or fixed? Which means if we need to produce more blocks, additional units of blocks, we need more cement, we need more gravels, we need more sand. Which means these costs are variable, changeable. When we produce more, when we want to produce more of the blocks, We need more cement, more water, more electricity, more. So these types of cost are called variable cost. We need more workers. So workers also is classified as a variable cost, right? What else? What of these costs are classified as variable cost? Maybe electricity, because we need to run the generators, to run the machines here. So electricity also is classified as a variable cost, right? No, machinery لا. It's an investment cost. سموها دي اللي هي الكابيتال. What about the registration for the factory? We have to pay it either if we produce or not. صح؟ واحد الترخيص تبع المصنع هذا اللي بتدفعه annual or taxes or insurance التأمينات ورنت land rent. واحد بتأجر أرض إذا اشتغل اليوم ولا ما اشتغلش he has to pay the rent. So هذا fixed cost بسموه. So rent, insurance, registration, taxes should be paid either you work or not. So it should be, or it's classified as a fixed cost. Right? تمام? So the sum of the variable cost, cement, water, sand, gravels, the wages or salaries, and electricity here are called the total variable cost. Total variable cost is the cost or the summation or the sum of the cost of cement, water, sand, plus gravels, plus human resources, wages and salaries, and electricity, right? So the total variable cost, TVC, total variable cost, is the summation of the sum of total اللي هو التوتال مجموع الكوست تبع السمن والووتر والساند والجرافلز والهيومن ريسورسز والالكتريسيتي في هذا in this example. تمام؟ بسموها TVC, total variable cost, right? The total fixed cost is the sum of fixed cost paid by the organization, by the company, either if we work or not. تمام؟ لو هذا total fixed cost TFC, total fixed cost, total fixed cost equals the summation of the cost of insurance, registration, land rent, right? These are called the total fixed cost. مجموع اللي هو هذا الكوست تبع الانشورنس registration land rent, maybe taxes. Sometimes انه اذا كان طبعا في عندي different types of taxes. قد تكون السيلز taxes هذا very sorry طبعا هلا في عندنا sales taxes بسموها indirect taxes. The values لا هي changeable بالمناسبة. taxes بتدخل ضمن ال variable cost. Variable cost because when we sell more products we have to pay more taxes, right? This is the idea. Thank you for your comment here. تمام. طيب. The total cost is the total variable cost plus total fixed cost. كل التكاليف هذه هيك اسمها total cost. TC, total cost, equals total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Right? So the total cost is the summation or the total, the sum of all these costs. تمام؟ إذا جمعناهم كلهم بسموهم total cost. Total cost is the total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Total fixed cost is the cost that paid by the organization and doesn't it change when the output change. Which means if the output increases, our production increases, we have to pay the same cost. We have to pay the same amount of insurance, registration, land rent here in this example. Regardless our output. Regardless بغض النظر عن ايش؟ عن حجم الانتاج. If we produce 0 units, how much is, let us assume the land rent here equals, we pay monthly or annual $1,000 for rent. And for insurance للتأمينات بندفع $2,000 and for registration about $500. How much is the total fixed cost? TFC equals 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 plus the insurance 2,000 plus registration 500 equals $3,500. This is the total fixed cost. We have to pay it regardless our output, our production. If we produce 0 quantities of blocks, we have to pay $3,500. If we produce 1 million units of blocks, we have to pay the same amount here, right? But the total variable cost is the cost of these units, which are, it changes when our production changes, right? Which means if we want to produce more blocks, we need more cement, so the total variable, and we need more sand, more water, so the total variable cost will increase, right? So let us assume that the total variable cost to produce 1,000 units of blocks costs or equals to TVC, total variable cost, to produce 1,000 blocks equals $2,000. But to produce 1,500 blocks, we need more. TVC will increase, right? We will check it in different examples now. But if we produce 0, if we produce 0 units of blocks, do we need variable cost? No. Do we need cement? No. To produce 0 from blocks, the needed amount of cement equals 0. برضو بالwater والsand will have 0. So at a Q equals 0, total variable cost equals 0 as well. Right? تمام? But if we produce 0 quantities of block, TFC equals $3,500. Right? تمام? طيب, let's go to to an example here. Okay, we're going to complete the table here. Calculate, or we have the following data about the company which produces different quantities, the total production here. We have the total fixed cost. As you see, total fixed cost is fixed regardless the quantity produced. Here, when we produce 0 quantities X, or sorry, of the product here, the total fixed cost that we have to pay is $60, right? And it's fixed regardless, or as the quantity increased, the total fixed cost is fixed here. تمام? The total variable cost, when we produce zero quantities of X or the blocks here, the total variable cost equals zero, as we mentioned, which means we don't need cement, we don't need sand, water, and gravels and human resources as well. But as the quantity produced here from 0 to 1, the total variable cost increased from 0 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 16, as you see here, increase gradually, right? تمام. Now we have different formulas for the cost. The total cost. Total cost is the TC is the total cost. TC equals total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Right? تمام؟ طيب. Another variable which is average fixed cost, AFC. AFC is the average fixed cost. AFC equals total fixed cost over quantity produced. TFC over Q. Average variable cost, AVC, is the average variable cost. AVC equals TVC over Q. راح نشوف الابلكيشنز هالقد. TVC over Q. Average total cost equals total cost over Q. TC over Q, or ATC. هلا عندنا TC total cost شو بيساوي؟ TFC راح ارجع له انا لقيت كل الفورمولاز هذه بلس TVC، صح؟ average total cost شو بيساوي؟ average fixed cost بلس average variable cost، لأنه هو في الآخر قسمها كلها على Q، صح؟ تاني؟ أحسسكوا لك كدتوا أصلا. تكتبوا؟ طب ماشي أوكي. بدي أشرح لكم إياه هذا. تمام؟ Total cost equals total fixed cost plus total variable cost, right? Average fixed cost equals TFC over Q, which means here average or total cost equals TFC plus TVC. So 60 plus 0, 60. 67, 68, 69, 76, 90, 132, 193. How much is it here? 284, 300 or 411, 580, right? The total cost here equals the total fixed cost plus total variable cost, right? تمام؟ طيب, the average fixed cost equals TFC over Q. The first point, exactly, 60 over 1, 60. 60 over 2, 30. 60 over 3, 20. 60 over 4, 15. 60 over 5, how much is it? 12? Yeah. 60 over 6, 10. 60 over 7, 8.5. 60 over 8, 7.5. 60 over 9, 6.6. 60 over 10, 6. Is it clear? Yeah. The same for average variable cost. Average variable cost equals total variable cost over Q. Average 7 over 1, 7. 8 over 2, 4. 9 over 3, 3. 16 over 4, 4. 90 over 5, how much? Sorry. TVC over Q, 30 over 5, 6. 72 over 6, how much is it? 9. 10, 12. صح؟ لا. مظبوط. 12. حلو. اللي بعده. هذا على هذا قديش؟ بعده 224 over 8 قديش؟ 28. Okay. And then 39. And the last point 52. Right? تمام. Average total cost ATC has two formulas. Either total cost over Q or AFC plus AVC. ATC. Either we can use this formula ATC equals AVC, AFC plus AVC, or ATC equals TC over Q. The same as the previous cases, the previous formulas for average fixed cost and average variable cost, right? So, ATC, the same result. AFC plus AVC, how much is it? Let's use this formula here. AFC plus AVC, 67. Okay, let's use this formula. ATC equals TC over Q. TC over Q, how much is TC? 67 over 1. 67, the same result. 34. Or 68 over 2. 34, the same result. right? تمام. So 23 19 18 22 27.5 35.5 how much is it? 30 or yeah 45.6 and the last point exactly, right? طيب, what else? What about the marginal cost? We studied before the marginal revenue, marginal utility, and here we have the marginal cost. MC, what about the marginal utility? Let's come back quickly to the marginal utility. A change in total utility over a change in quantity, right? What about the marginal revenue, MR? Change in total revenue over the change in quantity. What about the marginal production of labor? Change. What about the marginal cost? Exactly, yeah. So the marginal cost is the change in total cost over the change in quantity produced. The same as the marginal utility, the marginal revenue, and the marginal production of labor. So the marginal cost equals change in total cost over change in quantity, or TC2 minus TC1 over Q2 minus Q1. We have another formula which is marginal cost equals the change in total variable cost over change in quantity. The same result. So let's calculate the marginal cost here. Let's use this formula. Change in total cost over change in quantity produced. Change in total cost, here is the total cost, 67 minus 60 over 1 minus 0. Exactly. Here. Type 68 minus 67 over 2 minus 1. How much is it? 1. اللي بدك اياه، هل بدي اطبق هذا واطبق الثاني. تمام؟ طيب. واللي بعده 1. And then 76 minus 69 over 4 minus 3. 7. And then هذا minus 7. 14. And then 42. And then 91. And then 100. 127. And then the last one 170, 169. We can use this formula. Marginal cost equals change in total variable cost over change in quantity. We will get the same result here. So here we can use this formula here. Change in total variable cost over the change in quantity produced. 7 minus 0 over 1 minus 0. How much is it? 7. 8 minus 7 over 2 minus 1. 1. 9 minus 8 over 1. 16 minus 9. 7. We have the same result. Because total fixed cost is fixed here. صح؟ التشينج وين بصير؟ في الفاريبل كوست. صح؟ طيب, let's go to the graphs here. What do you see? We have different comments here. We have different comments on the table, and then we will check it on the graph. What do you see? As the quantity here increased, the total fixed cost is fixed. صح? The total fixed costs are fixed we have fixed values. What about the total variable cost? As the quantity produced increases, the total variable cost increases as well, right? Which means that there is a positive relationship between the quantity produced and the total variable cost, right? صح؟ طيب. What about the quantity produced and the average fixed cost? As the quantity increases, the average fixed cost is decreasing and then, or sorry, decreasing here. Right, yeah, decreasing and then, okay, decreasing, but it never reached the zero. عارفين ليش؟ هو الافريج فيكست كوست شو وضعه؟ decreasing هي. شو شايفينه؟ We have to pay it بس الافريج فيكست كوست هو decreasing but never reached zero. عارفين ليش؟ يعني خلي لي الكوانتي توصل 100 مليون الكوانتي بروديوست وانا بدفع 60. خلي قديش بيطلع عندي الافريج فيكست كوست؟ يعني ليتس اسيوم انه الكوانتي بروديوست قاعده في الزياده وصلت 100 مليون بلوكس 100 مليون بلوكس. قديش حتطلع الافريج فيكست كوست؟ حتكون 60 اوفر 100 مليون. حط اصفار من غزه لرفح. شو اللي بصير انت؟ should never reach zero because هل البسط اللي عندي قديش؟ هو بوزيتيف. صح؟ صح؟ بس هو decreasing as long as the quantity increase, the average fixed cost will go down but never reach zero here. تمام؟ راح تدفعي باللونج term all variables or factors production will be variable. بمعنى here in this example we are talking about a short term. But in the long term, we have no fixed cost. We can change all the factors of production. We can change all machinery. Exactly, in the long term. So in the long term, total fixed cost will be zero. But in the short run, as there is total fixed cost, the average fixed cost will still go down but never reach zero. But in the long term, we have no fixed cost, right? تمام? Okay. What about the average variable cost? What do you see? Declined here. بعدين start to go up. Average variable cost. تمام؟ Here we are talking about a short run. تمام؟ So it has declined here and start to go up. What about the average total cost? Decline and then go up. Goes up, right? The same as the marginal cost. Goes down or went down here and start to go up. تمام? Now let's draw the graph using the total approach, the totals approach and the marginal approaches. So let's go to graphs here. Now we are gonna study the relationship between the total cost, total variable cost, total fixed cost, and the quantity. Here we are talking about the totals approach, right? So we are gonna study the relationship between total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost, and the quantity. So quantity produced from 1 to 10, 0 to 10. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost. Okay. At Q equals 0, how much is the total fixed cost? At Q equals 0, how much is the total fixed cost? 60. نفترض انه 60 هي هان. At Q equals 1, how much is the total fixed cost? 60. Exactly. هو راح يجي هيك، هذا اسمه هيك total fixed cost. تمام؟ What about the total cost? Quantity and total cost. So here the total fixed cost will be a straight line, horizontal line, right? What about the quantity and total variable cost? When Q equals 0, total variable cost equals 0 as well. هذا total variable cost. We are gonna derive and draw the total variable cost. At a quantity equals 1, how much is the total variable cost? 7. Let's assume it is here. 1 here. It's an assumption. تمام. At a quantity equals 2, how much is it? 8. At 3, 9. At 4, 16. At 5, 30. At 6, 72. It's above 60. Let's just assume it's here. يمشي الحال. صح؟ يعني هيك رح تيجي. بعدين at 7, 133. يعني هذا جاي هيك. This is the total variable cost. صح؟ مظبوط؟ مين عنده اعتراض؟ نستو؟ ايه؟ طب ايش اعمل انا هاي الوضع؟ ايه؟ جاي بدري حكم محاضرة حضرتها قبل ما تيجي. ايه؟ طيب وحدة ايش؟ إدارة ولا محاسبة؟ فقه؟ طب كويس صح يعني. TVC. What about the average, the total cost? At Q equals 0, how much is the total cost? 60. أيوة شايفين؟ At Q equals 1, how much is the total cost? 67. يعني ممكن يجي هان هيك. Two, 68. At 3, 69. 76. 9. Should be here. Total cost. صح؟ مظبوط؟ تمام. What do you see? TVC curve, TVC starts from 0 and increasing, which means in the short run, if the quantity produced equals 0, the total variable cost will be 0 as well. As the quantity increase, the total variable cost is increasing as well. right? What about the total fixed cost? It's fixed. In the short term, we have a value for the total fixed cost. It's a straight line, right? What about the total cost? It starts, or at Q equals 0, total fixed cost equals the total cost. صح? In the short run, in the short term, at Q equals 0, total fixed cost equals the total cost. عشان هيك في الامتحان شو بنعمل؟ بنعطيكيش التوتال فيكست كوست. لا بعطيكيش اياها بالمره. ولا حاجه، ممكن اعطيك التي سي لحالك تفترضينها تي اف سي ايكوالز ات كيو ايكوالز 0. You have to think. You have ايه؟ الاسامبشن شو صار عندي هيك؟ at Q equals 0 total fixed cost equals total cost. يعني let us assume انه هذا مش given بالمره عندي. و total cost equals 60. at Q equals 0 وهذا مش given برضه كمان تي في سي. روح. كيف ايش ضلت؟ if quantum reduced equals 0 the total cost هي total fixed cost. صح؟ و total variable equals 0. بتكون in this case total variable equals 0. هذا زائد هذا 60 وكله جر على 6. نعم مظبوط.
بس القيمة الجديدة حتصير فيكس للفترة الجديدة للفترة الجاية.
لا شوفي in the long term total cost هو total variable cost. Which means in the long term total fixed cost equals 0. In the long term, all costs are variable. Will be changeable, which means yes. And in the long term is the term at which the costs are changeable, or we can change all costs. شوفي احنا في الايكونومكس ما بنعمله حسبة قد يكون الديوريشن 20 سنة ونسميه short term. In economics, our definition for the long term or the distinguish between long term and short term is not the duration. It's the period at which where we can change all the factors of production. مصنع طيارات الشورت تيرم تبعه قديش؟ يمكن 100 سنة صح؟ طب مزرعة دجاج poultry farm short term يمكن 40 days long term يمكن سنة سنتين تمام؟ So the difference between short term and long term is the period at which we can change all the factors of production. هذا الفرق ما بين economically ما بين الشورت تيرم واللونج تيرم عندنا بالنسبه لنا بالايكونومكس.
لا احنا في المحاسبه يعني.
طب ما هو انتم في عشان هيك في two types of cost كمان شوي accounting والايكونوميك كوست. هنجي هالقد كمان شوي بس تخلص هذا اوكي؟ طيب so here what do you see? The total cost curve is quite similar to the total variable cost. بمعنى جاي هيك. But it starts from the total fixed cost point. صح؟ بيشبهوا هاي جاي هيك. تمام؟ طيب let's go to the average fixed cost to average variable average total or marginal cost. تمام؟ طيب. AVC, AFC and ATC. These curves have been derived from the numerical example that we had 5 minutes ago, right? From the table. What do you see? The marginal cost curve decline and then increases. ارجعوا للداتا. هيك صح؟ مظبوط؟ طيب. Above here, the average variable cost declined and then goes up. صح؟ Average fixed cost is decreasing, right? But never reaches zero in the short term. صح؟ يعني never touch the horizontal axis. The average variable cost, average total cost, هي جاي زي مين؟ Like the average variable cost decreasing and increasing, right? طيب. We have the following comments on the graph. Number 1. Point A, here B, what do you see? The average variable cost curve crosses the marginal cost curve at the minimum value at the least of AVC. صح؟ The average variable cost, AVC, number 1. AVC crosses the marginal cost curve at the minimum of what? AVC. صح؟ وين بيتقاطعوا؟ بالمينيمم تبع مين؟ الAVC ولا الMC؟ At the minimum of AVC. At the minimum or at the least of or the minimum of marginal cost curve. صح؟ مظبوط؟ طيب. What else? ATC. وين بتقاطعوا؟ عند المينيمم للمين؟ سوري the minimum AVC. شكرا. Thank you. Of AVC. Number 2. ATC. The same as the AVC. FTC crosses MC at the minimum of ATC. Sorry. لما هاي الAVC crosses MC مع المينيمم AVC. طب الATC crosses MC at the minimum of ATC. crosses the lead. لحظة شوية. Thank you. صح؟ تمام. ABC crosses MC. crosses MC. لا هي صحيات هيك. ما هذا اللي قاعد بحكي فيه أنا. AVC crosses MC at the least or the minimum of AVC. The same as for the average total cost. Number 2, ATC crosses MC curve at the least or the minimum of ATC. وأنا بسموها break even point. هذه يسموها shut down point وهذا break even point. هذا بالnext chapter we'll check it. تمام؟ طيب. What else? quantity increases, or خلينا ناخذ الجزء هذا هيك, at the left side of point A. At the left side of point A, which is bigger? AVC or MC? AVC is bigger than MC. صح? What do you see? AVC is decreasing. صح? When then 3, when AVC is bigger than MC, AVC is decreasing. صح؟ Hey. At the left side here, when the AVC is bigger than MC, AVC is decreasing. طبعا right side هنا. When MC is bigger than AVC, AVC is increasing. صح؟ إذن هان هيك. At the left side, when AVC is bigger than MC, AVC is decreasing. At the right side, at the right point A here. When AVC is less than MC. مين أعلى؟ MC ولا AVC? MC is bigger than AVC. AVC is increasing. That's it. So when هذا left side AVC is bigger than MC, وهذا كلكم بتوقع فيه بالاخر, يعني كمان شويه حتلاقي حالك مش عارف ATC ولا AVC. When AVC is bigger than MC, when AVC بمعنى اللي شايفينه على الجراف بدنا نرسمه. When AVC is bigger than MC, هيو the left side here, عند النقطة A, left side point A. AVC شو وضعه؟ is decreasing. طبعا positive. At the right side here, what do you see? When MC is bigger than AVC, AVC شو وضعه؟ increasing. Then number 4, when AVC or MC is bigger than AVC, AVC is increasing. طبعا بوزيتيف, كله بوزيتيف وكله هيتم بوزيتيف. تمام؟ What else? Here, point B. The same as for the ATC. ATC and MC. When ATC is bigger than MC, ATC is decreasing. When ATC is bigger than ATC, ATC is increasing. صح? And then left side point B here. When ATC is bigger than MC, مين أعلى من مين? ATC is bigger than MC. ATC is decreasing. صح؟ موضوع فهم مش حفظ. هذا جبناه من الداتا الموجودة في التيبل. When ATC is bigger than MC, ATC is decreasing. Number 6, when MC is bigger than ATC, شو الوضع؟ ATC هيو هيك. When MC is bigger than ATC, ATC is decreasing. It's increasing. طبعا كله positive. والله we still have. أبو حمزة أعطيني just 3 minutes بس. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. أنا بحل مع الدكتور عرفات يا زلمة, تحملنا شوي بس. خلصت. طيب. AFC is decreasing. Number 7. AFC is decreasing. Hey. مظبوط? But never touch 0 in the short run. Never reaches 0 in the short run. as the AFC is decreasing. The distance here, the vertical distance between ATC and AVC gets closer. هو ال ATC شو بيساوي؟ ATC equals AFC plus AVC. صح؟ مظبوط؟ As the quantity increased هذا gets closer بضل ينزل أو سوري يعني decreasing مع زيادة الكوانتيتي صح؟ المسافة بين هذا وهذا بتقل. هيا شايفين هذا طالع وهذا طالع بيلتقوش بس مع بعض. عارفين ليش؟ because هذا ما بصير صفر. وقتيش ال AFC وقتيش ATC بيساوي ال AVC؟ إذا ال AFC بيساوي صفر. تمام؟ وهذا ما بصير إلا في اللونج تيرم طبعا. In the short term ATC وال AVC gets closer. بيقربوا مع بعض. Because AFC ماله is decreasing. إذا هذا in the short term ATC never equal AVC. صح؟ Because AFC is always positive, bigger than 0 in the short run. Right? ATC never equal AVC in the short run because AFC never equal 0 in the short run. هذا ما بصيرش صفر، هذا ما بصير صفر. وقتيش هذا ممكن يصير هذا بيساوي هذا؟ إذا AFC equal 0 بيكون هذا بيساوي وهذا ما بصيرش صفر. The short run. So ATC is always bigger than طبعا ال AVC. ATC is always bigger than AVC. صح؟ ATC is always bigger than AVC. طب ال vertical distance هذول between هذا وهذا من هان لهان عبارة عن شو؟ شو المسافة العمودية هذا between ال ATC وال AVC؟ ATC minus AVC عبارة عن شو؟ AFC. صح؟ هاي ال vertical distance between ATC وال AVC صحيح المسافة كل ما بتصغر as the quantity increased بس هذه بنسميها AFC. يعطيكم العافية.